please share some key experiences you have that you've been grateful for.
Oh, wow, there's so many. I mean, I could start from the beginning. Just as a child, I know I'm very grateful, and I wasn't. This is another thing. I wasn't always. I didn't always understand this, but I'm very grateful that my biological mother and her mother felt it very strongly to give me up for adoption. And definitely in a time when, and it's still kind of at times taboo, and especially in my society and in the black culture, to give a child up for adoption. But for them to do that, and me to understand now that by them doing that, it gave me a great position in life that I wouldn't have had, because my biological mother was very young, and she was just not ready to have a child, and she couldn't take care of a child.
Right.
But they gave me up for adoption. I had beautiful parents that adopted me and took me in and gave me a great chance at success, and to have the success that I had in my life. So I think, starting with that was just a great thing that was a great blessing, I should say, for myself.
Wow.
And one thing that I became very grateful for was my wife. And it wasn't always easy. It wasn't always easy. We've been together for 11 years now. But we've been married for 11 years. We've actually been together for 18 years. But during that time, I've learned a lot of things. And I'm very grateful for the fact that she would hold me accountable. When I would do things or say things, that were out of character, I'd start to, slide a certain way. She would reel me in and pull me back. And I'm very grateful for that, because I think that if I had a wife that I thought I might want, a type of wife that would just go along with everything I say, and tell me I'm great and all that kind of stuff, then what type of person would I be now? And I just think that it really helps me. And also my son, I really am grateful for the relationship that I have with my older son, Ricky, because he's another guy who will hold you accountable. He won't just sit there and say, "Dad, you're great, you're the greatest." He's very intelligent, he's very articulate, and he's very understanding of situations. And I've learned so much, from being a father and being a husband. And I just think that that's a great thing. And I think that I want people to understand that, and fathers to understand, to embrace that. Because many times I started out, I'm not going to change diapers, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to help out with chores, I'm not doing all that. That's why I worked hard, so I don't have to do that kind of stuff. And then I started realizing how much me doing those things, it reflects right directly on my kids. They start seeing that, hey, if Dad can do that, hey, I'll do that too.
Exactly.
Mom, don't carry those groceries. I'll get that for you. My son, he always wants to help. He always wants to clean. He always wants to do things. And I know that there's a direct correlation between me being that way, and that's what's making him that way. And I just love the camaraderie that we have, because the camaraderie is something that you really miss when football's over. And I really miss being in there with the guys and joking and all that. But I found a way to have that with my family. And that's a great thing, and I think that that's important. And I want, especially other athletes, because I know you might retire, and then you're going to feel like, man, what do I do now? You become the father that you're supposed to be, and you become the husband that you're supposed to be, and the humanitarian that you're supposed to be, and that's what it's all about, and that's your true calling in life, believe me.
Oh, thank you. That really, wow, that touches my heart. So you say all that things.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah, definitely.
What material possessions are you thankful for?
Well, I'm obviously thankful that I have a home, and it happens to be we think a very beautiful home, and
It is. Beautiful.
so I'm very, very thankful for that. And also, I have very nice things, cars and all that kind of stuff, and clothes and all that. But the thing that I really am happy is my studio. Once again, the music. That is my outlet. And that has helped me in a lot of ways to make the transition, especially when you stop playing football. Because when you stop playing football, it's like, bang, I mean, it's like all of a sudden there's nobody cheering you on anymore. You know, when you change a diaper, or you, you know, or you carry something in the house, or you do something like that, no one's cheering you on and saying, "Way to go! You know, great job." That's not happening anymore.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to deal with when people have been cheering you on and you've been at the highest level of people pretty much exalting you.
Right.
And my part of my transition, and really helped me to transition and to see what my true purpose is in life, has been that studio and going in there and days and nights and coming up with songs and really it has really helped me to find myself. Because one of the things that I think people don't understand, when you're playing football or you're doing something like that, you're doing everything for everyone else.
Exactly.
And you don't understand it at the time, but now looking back on it, I see that I was doing everything for everybody else to make you see that I'm great, or you pat me on the back, or you say that I can do this or that. And it's not until I stopped playing that I started to get more introverted and to kind of see more about myself and to meditate more. And like I said, I get into my writing and I go places, and I start to realize that not only am I understanding who I am, but how I can be a better me. And so that I attribute to that, to having that studio. That's a big part of it, and also my family.
That's beautiful. And I truly believe that, because I think in each one of us, we all have a dream, a passion that we want to do in our life. And sometimes we're afraid, you know, to cross the boundary, cross that comfort zone. And when you can finally decide, you know, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I believe in, and this is what, you know, I'm destined to do. When you feel that, all that passion, it drives you to do what some people thought you couldn't do.
Right.
And one of them is actually being here with you right now. So
now that's cool.
You're completing one of my dreams. So thank you. Thank you.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
It makes me feel really good.
Is there anything that you feel that you take for granted that if you stop and think about, you should be more grateful for?
Well, now I try to not do that, but I have in the past, and at times I do forget how much I can help other people by the things that I do. And I think that now I realize my calling. I thought at one time my calling was scoring touchdowns, like I said, and you know, and being this great player, and someday getting in the Hall of Fame, and that would be the end all for me. Right. But now I realize that was just a stepping stone for me. That was just putting me in position to do what I'm doing now, and that is to work with these kids. And the great thing about it is, because I was adopted, and now I'm working with kids in the foster care programs, and kids that are at risk, and kids who I know I was this close from being. And even after being adopted, I still was this close to being, you know, in that position. So to be able to give of myself, and to even talk about my faults, talk about things that are not so great about myself, those are the things that I learned really help these kids, because they start to see that, wow, if you were afraid, then it's not so bad for me to feel afraid sometimes.
Exactly.
And if you got down and felt dejected and you felt depressed sometimes, it's not so bad for me to feel that way.
Exactly.
And you were able to pull yourself out of it, you were able to become successful and to do something that you dreamt of doing, then they can do the same things. Exactly. And that, I know, is my true calling out here, is to touch these kids and to build the future, because they are the future, and none should get left behind.
Absolutely.
So that's what I feel that is my passion now, and I love it. It feels good. It really feels good to do it.
Wonderful. Well, Ricky, those are all the questions I have to ask you. I want to again thank you for your time. It's been real. I'm blessed and grateful to have this time with you, and I wish you the best in your future and what you do and helping these children. I know you're making a difference, and you're making a difference to the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.